What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and this is Regular Guy Training. So I figured I'd put out this video just to kind of update everyone on what's going on as far as like video production, what's going on as far as the training company goes, and some other really cool things too. Now, as far as training company and that kind of stuff is concerned, we're rolling out classes basically as we go, right? Because right now I've got classes in Drakesboro, Kentucky. There's more than one, and there's a handgun set that's coming up actually fairly soon. Going to Mississippi pretty soon. Going to Florida, working on a bunch of other different places. There's also something else that sort of came up as time went on, and we started developing, relationships with people to do private courses. Now, we do private courses for people that are interested. I have individual policies for that because as you can probably tell, I mean, private courses are going to have their own little stipulations in them so that it's not costing me money to come out there. But we do that to where if we got a small group of people or somebody that wants me to come out and teach them individually, we can do that. So for those of you that are interested in that, it's really easy to contact me and that kind of thing. So that's one thing. Another is, let's talk about videos. I have a review coming up on the Parker Mountain machine, barrel, and compensator. There are several things that we got to do as far as different videos that we're working on. I've started up the process on the post 30,000 round review on the Draco C. It's got to a point where if I don't do a long-term video on this fairly soon, I'm going to kill the barrel in it, right? So that's got to come up fairly soon. Other stuff that's coming out, like things that I'm individually considering and that kind of stuff, like just to help me as not just a shooter, but it can give me access to several different things that are out there. I'm considering going over to 45 for a year for no other real practical purpose than it just sounds like a way to make things more challenging for me. I'm very much used to 9mm handguns, and at this point I'm very much used to compensated dotted 9mm handguns. So I would be lying if I said that this wasn't partially out of a little bit of boredom, but I'm not sure where that's going to go here or there. So there's those developments, and here's a big one. Here's a really big one, and I'm going to start putting up images of this fairly soon. I'm in the process of developing a rifle. Now here's the thing with developing a rifle. A buddy of mine that owns Iron Pig Armament, like we had a conversation about what we could do as far as developing a signature series rifle. Right. So we put together a prototype, and it's actually in the testing phase right now. I will have no hand in its testing. We're actually going to send it out to a couple of different people so that the data that they provide isn't skewed in any way whatsoever. It's their evaluation on what I was able to put together. Things that are included with this are a 12.5 barrel from Ballistic Advantage, so that out the gate it's shooting pretty tight and barrel life on it's pretty good. Dual port brake from Surefire, that's suppressor ready. Carbine length gas system to make sure that we're good and reliable out the gate with good, bad ammo, whatever. Billet receivers, just so that the overall package is just a little bit tougher. 12-inch rail on it with a spacer on the muzzle device so that we can get good lockup with like a Surefire RC2, for instance, without making it a pain to take the thing off, because you got a rail that's right there, and there's no blasting issues or anything like that from the muzzle device. It's going to come out with a Geissele Super Dynamic Combat trigger, bad lever that's in the box so you can choose to or not to use it. Good brace, BCM Gunfighter pistol grip, ambi controls. That's another one too, because I can't disrespect my southpaws. So the idea for this really was to just provide people an out the gate thing, right? Like, this is a rifle that people turn their budget guns into, or it's the one that they go out and go get from the start. That that has solid components, that's gonna cycle. Oh, by the way, like chrome silicon recoil, friggin' recoil spring and an H2 buffer. You know, just like tried and true stuff that's all easily replaced, right? HP MPI bolt from Microbest. Again, it's so that you can receive this thing, plug sighting systems and lights and whatever you want to plug onto it without having to change other stuff, and then just go, right? So it's not meant to really change the world. It's meant to, like, this is one spot that I can just send people to, and instead of having to constantly parts list and all of that, right? It's like, this I know is going to work for the vast majority of things that you need an AR for, right? Because we can do home defense with it, we can do urban fighting with it, we can do some open field stuff. We can reach out a little bit further with it because so far in the testing process, they've reached out to good rifleman distances. You can add whatever optic, night vision, or whatever to it, and it's still going to perform. The reason why we went with a 12.5 is so that it's more or less balanced between muzzle velocity and maneuverability. So we can still get solid performance out of stuff like Mark 262, and we can still run, you know, target ammo through it. And we can still reach out 300, 400, 500 yards and still hit things. See what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you need it for, all parts are easily replaced, works good, does multiple jobs. That's basically what we're going for. And you start out the gate with a fairly solid 2-stage trigger in it that's got slightly heavier springs in it so that you can get adjusted to a 2-stage. And so that's what this is for. Now there's a couple of things that are going to come with this. For instance, when this is out, when we do what we got to do with it, once we're complete with testing, which will be a little bit from now, we are going to go ahead and start up a pre-order process. We'll be able to have payment options for it. As far as cost out of box, we're looking at keeping this around about $1,600, right? And the reason why we're keeping it there is that we're charging basically what it's worth, I personally believe, especially with the add-ons and everything else, versus getting some more basic-ish stuff on it for a couple $100 less, but you still have like a Geisley in there, you still have a solid barrel in there, good rail to start with, you know, ambi controls, things that a lot of guys would add on later that would end up getting to $1,600 before they add an optic and a light to it anyhow. So this is pretty much where we want to keep this. But here's a kicker to this, right? Because there are a couple more ways that we decided we were going to help guys out. If you pick this thing up from Iron Pig Armament, this comes with a couple of cool doodad add-ons. One, you get a free class from me, and this is only relevant to like individual purchaser, name on thing, that kind of stuff. And we can probably work some stuff out if you talk to them, as far as like if you buy like 2 or 3 of the things, and the extra rifles are going to people that you want to have a free course with. That's what we're pushing here, is that like if you pick it up from him, you get 1 free class from me one time. And that's from distributor. Resale market, unfortunately, because it's impossible to track and it's easily abused, I'm not going to be able to do the resale market stuff. It's basically going to have to be, hey, I bought this from, Iron Pig Armament. But you end up with 1 free class from me. And if you pick this up from distributor, I'm also going to donate $100 of each individual sale toward St. Jude's. Now, I've received a couple of questions in the past when I brought this up to people, as far as like, okay, why St. Jude's? There are like a million veterans charities that you can go to and that kind of stuff. And my answer is simply this. It's like, look, I donate $1,000 per year to veterans charities in the first place. I provided a lot of free bullets for, soldiers to come out and train with. I've flown a lot of guys out to places. I've put them up. Like, I've done, in my own way, stuff for veterans in that particular light. The kids with cancer get their turn. And it's a little personal to me, because everyone knows someone that was taken by cancer at this point in time, and it took my mom, right? So, when you're talking about kids that, kids that are dealing with this kind of deal, like there's no plan. There's no plan. There's no way of predicting, some kid coming down with leukemia or something, and as far as veterans charities go, I mean, it's real tough. it's real tough for sure, but like I can hate depression away. You know, I can use the gym to push off depression and that kind of stuff. It's pretty hard to hate leukemia and stuff like that away. You know what I mean? So the kids get their turn. But that's basically how we're going to do this. We're trying to help out a bunch of people at the same time. If you've been in retail before and you work a couple of figures in here, I'm not really making a whole bunch of money off of this. I might make like $50 a unit, right? But we do a bunch of things at once. We provide a solid rifle just to the world, so it's in the wild, and it's helping guys out in that way. We can help guys out in the training sphere, so that's really going to help as well. And we also get to help out some kids that are coming down with issues that they can't individually deal with on their own. You know, and to me, that's like the most American thing ever. You know, protect you and yours and help others when they need them or when they need it. That's pretty much where I'm going to start and end with this. So that's just a couple of goings on that's happening. I recognize that like most of September, I was basically like gone from the world, but it's because I'm putting a lot of stuff together and I'm working a lot of things out so that I can better myself, so I can better the company, so I can better the YouTube sphere, just all that stuff. So I've been working on a lot of little things, trying to build this up some more. So that's where I pretty much got all this. If you guys want to come out and train with us, check us out on Facebook, support us on Patreon, that kind of stuff. The links for all that are in the description below. And remember, guys, regular guys' firearm is the last defense against tyranny. Easy.